AI is changing enterprise application development in .NET. But the biggest shift is not simply that AI can generate code faster. That is the shallow version of the story. The bigger shift is architectural. As AI compresses repetitive implementation work, the value of human judgment moves upward. Business logic matters more. Boundaries matter more. Governance matters more. Validation matters more. And accountability still belongs to people. This video walks through 11 visual lessons from the white paper, How AI Changes Enterprise Application Architecture in .NET. The core idea is simple. Automate the repeatable, protect the meaningful, validate everything. AI does not replace architecture. It raises the value of architecture. AI-assisted development can help generate controllers, DTOs, mappings, tests, documentation drafts, and repetitive implementation patterns much faster than before. That is valuable. But faster implementation does not automatically create better enterprise software. Enterprise systems are not valuable because they contain more code. They are valuable because they correctly express how the business works. That means the real value still lives in business logic, boundaries, governance, validation, and human judgment. AI can accelerate construction. Architecture determines whether that construction produces durable business value. When teams understand this distinction, AI becomes a force multiplier. When they miss it, AI becomes a faster way to create confusion. Before AI-assisted development, many teams lost time in repetitive implementation. Manual scaffolding, wiring services, creating DTOs, building mappings, writing basic tests, drafting standard documentation. AI can compress much of that work. But it does not remove the bottleneck. It moves it. The constraint shifts from coding mechanics to judgment. Are the requirements clear? Is the architecture sound? Are the business rules correct? Is the generated code in the right layer? Is the implementation safe for production? That is the real change. AI removes friction from building. It does not remove the need for thinking. In enterprise development, the bottleneck increasingly becomes business understanding, architecture, validation, governance, and production readiness. That is where senior technical people need to spend more time. A lot changes in technology. Frameworks change, libraries change, hosting models change, databases change, user interfaces change. AI assistants will change too. But the enduring core of architecture does not change. Business meaning still matters. Boundaries still determine whether a system can survive change. Governance still determines whether speed is safe. Accountability still belongs to humans, and architecture still exists to help systems absorb change without breaking the business. This is especially important in the AI era. AI can make it easier to generate outer layer implementation. But that does not make the durable core less important. It makes the durable core more visible. The parts that change fastest should never be confused with the parts that matter most. Architecture provides stability in a world of constant change. The business layer matters more in the AI era, not less. This is one of the most important points in the white paper. AI is strongest at the edges of the architecture. It can help with user interfaces, APIs, DTOs, mappings, boilerplate, integration wrappers, test scaffolding, and documentation. Those areas matter. But they are not usually where the deepest enterprise value lives. The protected core is the business layer. That is where the system captures rules, policies, workflows, constraints, approvals, exceptions, calculations, and domain logic. In other words, the business layer is where software stops being a technical artifact and starts representing how the enterprise actually operates. If the business layer is clean and well governed, AI can safely accelerate the layers around it. If the business layer is weak, AI can help scatter business logic across controllers, SQL scripts, UI code, helper classes, and integration adapters. That creates fast, expensive confusion. Protect the core, automate the edges, validate everything. AI does not eliminate the architect. It changes where the architect creates value. In the past, architects were often judged heavily by their command of frameworks, patterns, infrastructure, and implementation conventions. That still matters. But as AI reduces the cost of repetitive implementation, the architect's role moves upward. The architect becomes less of a carpenter and more of a conductor. The carpenter metaphor fits a world where much of the value is in manual construction. The conductor metaphor fits a world where humans, automation, and AI are all contributing to the system. The conductor does not play every instrument. The conductor defines the score, coordinates the sections, preserves timing, and ensures the result fits the intended design. That is increasingly what architecture means in AI-assisted enterprise delivery. Architects define system intent. They translate business meaning into software structure. They design boundaries. They define automation rules. They own governance. And they make sure AI-generated output fits the architecture rather than slowly eroding it. AI handles more of the mechanical work. Architects lead the meaningful work. AI-assisted development needs a delivery model, not random prompting, not disconnected developer experiments, not let AI build everything. A practical enterprise.NET delivery model starts with business meaning. First, clarify the business requirements, domain concepts, rules, exceptions, workflows, and outcomes. Second, define the architecture and solution structure. That includes layers, project boundaries, dependency direction, naming conventions, testing strategy, and governance rules. Third, use templates and automation to scaffold the baseline solution. Fourth, use AI to accelerate predictable implementation. Fifth, validate the output, not just for style, not just for compilation, but for business correctness, architectural placement, technical quality, and operational readiness. Sixth, harden the system for security, compliance, testing, monitoring, deployment, and production support. Seventh, refine patterns over time. The sequence matters. Meaning first, structure second, automation third, validation always. That is how AI becomes part of disciplined enterprise delivery instead of an uncontrolled shortcut. The question is not whether enterprise.NET teams should use AI. They should. The better question is where AI belongs. Use AI aggressively where the work is repetitive, low risk, bounded, and easy to review. That includes DTOs, controllers, mappings, documentation drafts, test scaffolding, standard wrappers, configuration code, and other predictable patterns. If expert review is fast and cheap, AI can usually be used aggressively. But use AI carefully where business meaning, risk, ambiguity, or accountability are high. That includes core business rules, security logic, authorization, financial calculations, compliance workflows, transaction boundaries, cross-system processes, and architectural trade-off decisions. In those areas, AI can still help. It can draft, it can summarize, it can organize requirements, it can propose scenarios, it can challenge assumptions, but it should not own the decision. Use AI heavily where the meaning is already decided and the result is easy to verify. Use AI carefully where validation is expensive and consequences are high. AI can generate output. Governance determines whether that output becomes trusted software. That distinction matters. Generated code is not production ready just because it compiles. It still needs architectural standards. It still needs review rules. It still needs security checks. It still needs testing and validation. It still needs operational readiness. It still needs traceability and accountability. Governance is not bureaucracy. In AI-assisted development, governance is the control system that makes speed safe. Without governance, AI can spread inconsistency faster. It can amplify weak naming, weak boundaries, weak testing, weak logging, and weak security assumptions. With governance, AI becomes much more valuable. The team can define where AI may be used aggressively, where it requires deeper review, and where human ownership must remain strong. Governance protects the business layer. It reduces risk. It turns AI output into accepted engineering artifacts. That is why governance is not optional in enterprise AI adoption. It is part of the architecture. Most AI-related failures in enterprise development are not caused by AI being bad at code. They are caused by weak architecture, weak process, weak standards, or weak expectations around AI. If requirements are vague, AI does not solve that. If the architecture is incomplete, AI does not fix it automatically. If business logic is scattered across layers, AI may reproduce that confusion. If review is shallow, AI-generated output may look professional while still being wrong. This is how teams create accelerated disorder. Weak requirements plus weak architecture plus fast AI output equals more code, more drift, more rework, and less control. The symptoms are familiar: inconsistent patterns, leaky abstractions, tight coupling, poor traceability, security and quality gaps, rework and delays. Direction first, then speed. AI amplifies the process you already have. If the process is disciplined, AI can amplify your advantage. If the process is weak, AI can amplify the mess. Most AI-related failures in enterprise development are not caused by AI being bad at code. They are caused by weak architecture, weak process, weak standards, or weak expectations around AI. If requirements are vague, AI does not solve that. If the architecture is incomplete, AI does not fix it automatically. If business logic is scattered across layers, AI may reproduce that confusion. If review is shallow, AI-generated output may look professional while still being wrong. This is how teams create accelerated disorder. Weak requirements plus weak architecture plus fast AI output equals more code, more drift, more rework, and less control. The symptoms are familiar: inconsistent patterns, leaky abstractions, tight coupling, poor traceability, security and quality gaps, rework and delays. Direction first, then speed. AI amplifies the process you already have. If the process is disciplined, AI can amplify your advantage. If the process is weak, AI can amplify the mess. The future of enterprise.NET development is not AI instead of architecture. It is AI inside architecture. That distinction matters. AI is the accelerator. Architecture is the direction. Governance is the guardrail. People are still the difference. The teams that benefit most from AI will not be the ones that generate the most code the fastest. They will be the teams that define business meaning clearly, protect the business layer, use AI where it fits, govern generated output, validate what matters, and keep humans accountable for judgment. That is the real opportunity. AI can reduce low-value repetition. It can help teams move faster. It can improve consistency when used inside clear standards. But it does not replace business understanding. It does not replace architectural judgment. It does not replace governance. And it does not replace accountability. The goal is not more code faster. The goal is better systems that deliver measurable business value. This video summarized the core ideas from the white paper. How AI Changes Enterprise Application Architecture in .NET. The full white paper goes deeper into the architecture model, business layer strategy, AI usage boundaries, governance requirements, common failure patterns, and practical next steps for enterprise.NET teams. Download the full white paper at AInDotNet.com. Look for the links in the description. And remember the core message: automate the repeatable, protect the meaningful, validate everything. Thanks for watching.